Hi, my name is Barry Doyle. I'm a lawyer in Chicago. I'm here to answer the question today. What does it mean if your company is calling you a 1099 driver? There's good news and there's bad news for you in terms of what happens after an on-the-job injury. I'm going to be talking today about what the significance of that means. It's something I'm seeing more and more often with truck drivers, hearing it seems like once a week, if not more often. There's some important information you need to know about that. Please hit like, please hit share. This is going to be something that's going to be valuable information for anybody who is working as a truck driver in the truck driving industry, and by doing that you circulate it within your network, and hopefully this will be information that's of use to people who are being affected by this. So what does it mean when the company is calling you a 1099 driver? Effectively, what it means is that they are trying to say that you're an independent contractor. That has a lot of significance for people who are hurt on the job. One of the basic things that you have to show in any workers' compensation case is that there is an employer-employee relationship, and the fact of the matter is that if you're truly an independent contractor, you're not an employee and you're not eligible to get workers' compensation benefits, which are important for making sure that you can keep food on the table, roof over your head, and get access to quality medical care after an on-the-job injury. So why are companies trying to call people 1099 drivers? Well, as an employer, I could tell you that there are more costs to having employees than just the cost of your salary. There are payroll benefits, there's health insurance, there's workers' comp benefits, there are taxes that are involved, and it gets to be very expensive. And calling somebody a 1099 driver or a 1099 employee, an independent contractor, is just kind of a giant dodge for getting out of having to pay all those financial obligations that are associated with having employees. One of the things that you get out of is having to carry workers' compensation insurance. And what happens with a lot of trucking companies is that they have you buy occupational accident policies instead. Some occupational accident policies are actually fairly good. There are some companies that are fairly reputable and treat people in an above-board kind of way. Other companies, their policies really aren't worth the paper that they're written on, to be quite candid about it. But the bottom line you need to know about any occupational accident policy is this, that these are insurance policies that are written by the insurance companies. They tend to favor the insurance company. Who'd have thunk? The other downside to this is that there isn't a good mechanism for resolving any kind of dispute you have about the benefits that you get under the policy in an efficient kind of way. If the insurance company in an occupational accident who writes an occupational accident policy decides that you're really not entitled to benefits, there's no good efficient way to get those reinstated, and you're really left kind of holding the bag. There are reasons that companies do this. There are reasons that this isn't good for you after an on-the-job accident, because you're left dealing with this occupational accident policy or nothing at all, in which case you're in kind of deep weeds after getting hurt on the job. You don't have basic money coming in the door that you need to make sure that you can keep food on the table, a roof over your head. You don't necessarily have access to quality medical care. Now, even though the company is calling you a 1099 driver and calling you an independent contractor, that doesn't mean that that's actually the case, or that the workers' comp system actually will regard you as being an independent contractor. What happens is the courts have gotten wise to this dodge over the years, and they really recognize that what happens is that the key issue for determining whether somebody is an employee for workers' compensation purposes, there's really two big issues. Issue number one is, does the employer exercise control over the work that you do? And if you're following along with the motor carrier safety regulations, the obligation is on the part of the carrier, the company, to make sure that their drivers are complying with all of the motor carrier safety regs that go along. And that gets down to the nitty-gritty detail of what you do day to day. If you're driving for them, they're going to be dispatching you, picking out routes for you, and so forth, setting deadlines for when you're going to be delivering loads. You're not free to do the job as you wish. There are a lot of obligations on you as a driver, even though you're a quote-unquote independent contractor. The other thing that the courts look at is whether the work that you're doing for the company is kind of at the heart of what the company does. For example, if I'm a carpenter and I'm putting an addition on a house, I may sub out some of that work to a plumber who knows how to install a toilet and a sink and that kind of thing, because that's not part of what I do. I'm really relying on their very specific expertise to get a very limited part of the job done. What I really do is I frame additions to houses and walls and that kind of thing, and the plumbing is something else, and those people have their own specialized tools to do it. It's not the heart of what I do. When you're working with a trucking company, and you're driving a truck, that really is at the heart of what the trucking company does. So the courts will really regard you as being an employee, even though officially you're called a 1099 driver. That dodge doesn't work, but the downside of being called a 1099 driver is a lot of drivers don't know to ask the question, can I get workers' comp benefits after I get hurt on the job, even though I'm officially called a 1099 driver? That dodge isn't going to fly. You should know better. You do know better than that now. And that's information that you should be sharing with people who find themselves in that kind of situation where they're being denied workers' comp benefits after they've been hurt on the job because the company is saying that they're a 1099 driver. It's a dodge to get out of the real basic obligations that employers have as a consequence of having employees. Anyway, I hope that addresses some of the issues that comes up when somebody's being called a 1099 driver and gets involved in an on-the-job accident. We're happy to help drivers who are involved in this kind of situation. And we believe that knowledge is power, and the more that this information gets shared and gets liked and gets circulated, the better off the truck drivers that we serve are going to be in the long run. Hope this information has been informative. If you need more information, feel free to visit our website, www.rightsofinjuredtruckers.com, or you can call our office at 312-263-1080. The call is free. There's no obligation to hire us if you do call. We're happy to help. Have a great day.